5th round is where the whole fight kind of twists a little bit, because we have the benefit of the replay, of course. Oleksandr Usyk did complain about a low blow, but watching it back on several occasions, it's belt line, boys. It is a belt line. It is a belt line shot. It's not in the breadbasket.
Mate, the only time you've seen Oleksandr Usyk on the floor as an amateur was to body shots. He doesn't like it there. The guys knew they had a secret weapon in the camp, and that was Oleksandr Usyk's old trainer. They'd been working on stuff. We saw in the open workout that Don Charles had the body bag on. He was working the chest, working the hooks to the body. That was the game plan, and it worked. Round 5, it worked. The referee was never going to do Daniel Dubois any favours over here this week, and he certainly didn't there, because that shot was not low. Taking nothing away from Usyk and his performance, right, and the class that he is. But listen, he was on the floor for the best part of 5 minutes there. That's a liberty, really, because the shot weren't low.
But also, I'll just reiterate the point I made at the time, which is that often the referees will give instructions to both fighters in the centre of the ring about what is and what isn't good when it comes to the belt line. I didn't hear him give those instructions in the ring. He might have done it backstage in the dressing room, and sometimes referees will say, depending on the position of the belt line, that the belt line is fine. Sometimes they'll say the top of the belt is the borderline, basically, and so the belt line isn't fine. And when you look at his shorts, he hasn't got that belt line super high, which some fighters do. It's just worth making that point again, but there's no question that the punch landed on the belt.
Yeah, absolutely. Listen, I know the referee comes in the dressing rooms of both fighters before the fight, and he says, this is where I want your shorts. This is the borderline. Them shorts weren't particularly high, mate, so, and it landed on the borderline.
Gareth with Don Charles.
Don Charles, Daniel Dubois, Dynamite Dubois' trainer. You just made a very good point, Don, that they need to bring VAR
Most
into
definitely,
boxing.
100%. We got conned out of that. VAR, if you can have it in football, bring it in boxing.
Whoa, there we go.
Don Charles there, obviously incredibly frustrated in the corner with Daniel Dubois, as is Frank Warren. And you've got it, you do have to feel for that team, because listen, this is an incredibly tough task. Taking on Oleksandr Usyk on this particular night is an incredibly tough task. They've quite evidently worked on a particular game plan, and the game plan worked. They chopped him and chopped him and chopped him and chopped him consistently. Don't get me wrong, I'm not saying here and saying that he won rounds against Oleksandr Usyk, because Usyk himself was absolutely fantastic in responding to what Dubois was doing. But that is, without any shadow of doubt in my mind, the most amount of consistent round success that somebody's had against him at heavyweight.
Absolutely. And can I just say one thing as well? Had that been not ruled a low blow there, had it not been ruled a low blow and the referee got him up and gone with it, that fight could have turned out differently, you know, but he was allowed to rest, and rest for too long in my eyes.
Is that Don Charles that is currently on the microphone in the ring at the moment? He's just addressing the speakers. And I didn't catch what Don Charles was saying. Did you catch any of it?
Listen, I can work it out though. He's fuming. He feels like he was robbed of his chance. He feels like if the referee would have picked him back up, all I'm saying is it didn't happen, so it's gone. That's history. You know, in boxing, if something doesn't happen, you've got to put it behind you straight away, get on with it. He didn't do it, but other referees may have said, get up, stop messing around, get on with it. And if that would have happened, Daniel may have got some momentum, because you could see he'd really grown in confidence, because he knew as a fighter that shot didn't go low. You feel it, you know where it goes, and it clipped at the top of the belt line. But to go low, you've got to go a good 7-8 inches lower than that to go low. So you know that would have given him immense, you know, confidence going like, with that body shot landing like he did. It's just a shame. Emotions are running high from Don Charles. Understand that they've been away for best part of 6 weeks up in Spain, altitude training. They've put a lot into this.
But the VAR point is a good one, because they do use instant replays or ringside replays with the WBC and Nevada sometimes, for example. Yep. It's generally to adjudge whether a blow has landed after the bell or before the bell, something of that nature. But in that particular instance, you could watch that back again really quickly as he's lying on the ground, and you could say to him, you're not getting 5 minutes, that wasn't low, get up. That's what could have happened there if we'd had it.
Yeah.
And that would have made a difference. We didn't have it, so Spencer's right to kind of point out that we don't want to talk in too many hypotheticals, but in that instance, there would be a valid and easily applicable use of it.
There's no problem with bringing it in. They use it all the time in MMA for whether it's an accidental head clash or these types of things. And it's a quick couple of second reference to the side of the thing and they go, well, hang on a minute, no, that didn't actually happen. It's a disqualification, or it's this, and this.
Through the history of the sport, you know, we've seen things where a fighter gets hit low and you think, oh, that's out of order, and the referee makes them continue, or vice versa, or there's a head clash and the referee doesn't rule it a head clash and the fighter loses. What the point I'm making here is, mate, the point I'm making here is fighters put their lives on the line, yeah? Fighters put their lives on the line, and it should be fair. VAR is definitely the way forward. We need it within the sport because it effectively changes the sport.